Hello everyone, you're welcome back to our YouTube channel. It's under tutorial, and today we are going to be coating our mesh for our screen printing. I'm sorry it has to take this long. We are attending to our customers here too. Schools are resuming new sessions and others are coming in, so we have to meet up with that too. So we are very sorry. Now we are going to continue now coating our mesh. I told you the other time that screen printing is just ink printing, whereby you use chemicals and some ink, and the ink is forced through a mesh screen onto a surface. So your surface can be your clothes, that's your polo, your hoodie, anything you want to customize. It can be a nylon, you want to customize a nylon for your company. It can be a leather, it can be anything, the surface that you want to print on. So to coat our mesh, I'm sure you've heard that you don't coat your mesh in the light. The light simply means you avoid UV light, that's ultraviolet light. The reason is simple: the emotion is very sensitive to UV light. So immediately it's being exposed to ultraviolet light, it becomes inactive, or should I say inactive? It's no longer that active because it's very sensitive to UV light. So when it's exposed to UV light, the emotion becomes, which appropriate word can I use? It's no longer potent, or it's no longer active. So, well, it doesn't mean that you should stay in the dark, complete darkness. It simply means that avoid any form of interference with UV light. So before we start cutting our mesh, before we mix the emulsion with the dichromate, I'm going to put off some of my lighting here. I'll also drop my blinds. I'll drop the blinds, so I'll reduce the lighting in where I'm working. And also, but if you are not sure of the extent of lighting you can have, use your dim lights. You're okay with it. So I'm going to reduce my lighting and also drop my blinds. So I'll probably off all the lights and use the natural reflection in the room I'm using. So let me do that now. So now I've off all the lights. I'm only using the natural reflection in the room. So we want to mix our emulsion with a dichromate now. There's one thing I will not be able to give you emphatically. That is the ratio of the dichromate to emulsion you'll be using. So most times I always tell people that please, by continuous practice, you will know the one that is best for you. But what I will tell you is this: make sure that you don't mix your emulsion too watery. Of course, it must not be too thick. Now I have two here. This is a new one. Imagine that's why I use this. Whenever you are working, make sure you have something to clean your handle, so that you not eventually mess up your. So I always tell people that now I have two here. This is one. You can see that it needs a new one. I just removed the seal. This is another one. You can see something. Let me show you something. See the mixture of those. See the is it consistency now? See how it is. Now this is the way I bought it. I've not mixed it at all. And see this one. See how thick it is. So automatically when I want to mix, the quantity of the dichromate I'm going to be adding to this one will be more than what I will add to this. So if I'm telling you that you use 2:1 or 3:1, the 3:1 can work for this and might not work for this. So it depends, except for those that usually buy powder, but I don't use powder or emulsion. I usually buy the already mixed one, which is common in the market. So I'll be mixing my own and I will show you the consistency I'll be using. This type of one, I can use 2 spoons of this and just one of this is okay. But if I want to be using this one, of course, if I'm using 2 spoons of this, I won't be using 1 spoon of this. So what you should consider is the consistency of the emulsion you have. That will determine the quantity of the dichromate you'll be adding to it. I hope I'm making sense. So I'll be using this other one. I'm not using this one now. I'll just return this back. Now I want to mix it. So this should be okay for what I want to do. So let me add just one of spoon of this. Let me tell you that most times I love to use my hand to mix, or I can use a spoon. You can use a spoon, but I prefer using my finger. I have some that I already mixed, but I don't want to use it because I want you to see the way I'm mixing it. Using my finger will make me to mix it very well, all the corners of the container. Now, can you see? So if you feel it's thick, you can add more, but with this, it's perfect. Can you see the way it's running? It's perfect for me like this. So but if I want to use the other one, there's nothing wrong with it too. There's nothing wrong with that other one too. Automatically I'll be adding close to 2 spoons of the emulsion. So now that I'm done, can you see? I pull it off. So I always advise you to use glove, because it will reduce the level of contamination of the chemical with your hand. Don't forget they are chemicals. So can you see? Now I want to coat the mesh. Number one, please make sure you not coat your mesh too thick. Make sure it's not too thick. Light coating will get the job done. And whenever I want to coat my own mesh, I don't use squeegee. I use something I didn't see. This is an ID card, just because it has a very sharp edge. Unlike the squeegee, squeegee has a thick edge. People use squeegee and it works perfectly. But for me, it allows the emulsion to penetrate well. You can see to penetrate well. So I prefer using something like, if you have an expired ID card or expired ATM card, you can use it. That is what I use for my own coating of my mesh. Now I use my reusable glove. So now another thing is, if you are working with this very small artwork, you don't have to coat the entire mesh. It will amount to wasting of materials, and materials are expensive now. Fuel is expensive now, so everything has increased. So I will advise you use just small portion, but most times I always come to the middle. If I want to do small artwork, I can show you some that I have inside, but I want to be doing a very big artwork, so I'm going to be coating everything. So when we want to expose our artwork, you see what I'm talking about. Okay, let's go. Then take your ID card. Then come back to the other side. Turn it again. I told you I'm doing a very large artwork. That's why I'm trying to cover all the edges. Turn it again. So by the time you are sure that it has gone round, be packing the remaining emulsion. So what I'm trying to do now is to remove the excess emulsion. I told you it's not be too thick. Remove the excess emulsion from the screen. I've removed all the excess emulsion from it. Don't coat your emulsion too thick. If you notice a particular side is too thick, use your, if you're using your squeegee or anything to remove it. When you have a light coated mesh, to make your exposure, when you want to expose your artwork, very easy. But if it's too thick, then you have to spend more time exposing it. And it's advantage of doing that is that eventually you might be washing off your artwork. Now we are done cutting our mesh. You can see. So the next thing to do, you still don't have the right to expose it to sunlight. So we still have, so I can still use it some other time. The ones that I've mixed already, I can use it. I can just only top it up with a little sensitizer in case. But just choose not to use that one because I want you to see the way I do my mixing. You can see I add little or no contamination with my hands. And even if you are printing, please make sure you avoid staining your hand with ink or chemicals, so that you not eventually stain your clothes. So, and any glove actually will make it work out perfectly. So now that we're done cutting our mesh, we are going to keep it in a dark place, a place where you know that there won't be reflection of sunlight, or there won't be reflection of any UV light. That is why I prefer to use my hand dryer. Once and for all, dry it to avoid story that touches. And another thing is that this time around, the weather is so cold. For a season like this, your hand dryer can be very, very, very handy. But now I'm not using hand dryer. I'm going to go and keep it for 24 hours. Now 24 hours also, most times it's not guaranteed. Why? The weather factor is there. If the weather is too cold, you might not. It's possible that it's not well dry after 24 hours. If it's a normal weather, maybe during dry season, in fact, you can be sure that it's dried perfectly. But this rainy season, I've experienced it, that after 24 hours, you expose all your artwork washed away. Why? Because the mesh is not dry completely. So you might, to be sure that it's dry, maybe you can leave it more than that. But I'm going to keep it inside for 24 hours before we'll come and do how to expose our artwork and also print on it. So thank you if you have watched this video up to this point. Like, share and comment, and also if you are ready to subscribe, kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel. Keep it in the dark where there is no exposure to UV light. Thank you. Another thing, please, when you want to keep it, I prefer you keep it like this. Don't go and hang your mesh like this. Most times you do it like this, in place of it drying, you can be draining down and you begin to have some dots that are thick. So please find a place to place it like this, flat, so that as it's drying evenly. Thank you. God bless you. See you in the next class, where we'll be exposing and printing our work.